Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here on this amazing day. The sun is just peeking through the clouds, and as you can see, I'm surrounded by the most exquisite flowers. I guess someone had a birthday. That would be me. And as you can see, I got dressed for the flowers, the green and the orange. It just feels so good because it is. Welcome to the Advancement Center, where we have welcomed family, and they're all gathered here together to celebrate the anniversary of that date more than 40 years ago when I came to Earth. And to be more specific, tack on 6 years. That's an impressive number. I am impressed, and I feel wonderful. And I think I even feel more wonderful because I'm surrounded with love, family, and all of you every day. There will be 9 of us at the birthday dinner this evening, and the beacon on the hill will be beaming brightly. All the magic and miracles of the world, of the new world of magic and miracles, will be felt, experienced with every encounter, in person, on the screen, today, or sometime in the future. The new world of magic and miracles is here now for those of us who are experiencing it and must tell about it. That's very important. Yeah, all of you on the other side of this screen, I just want you to know I feel your presence in the highest sense, because you're recognizing and you're feeling the fact that this is home. And just know that you are welcome anytime you're in the neighborhood. Well, my birthday was this past Thursday, and my brother, my beautiful brother, who's watching right now, I'm sure, was a numerologist. And he was always telling me what was happening and what was going to happen. And he would tell me that January 13, 1936 was a 6, and that my life path was harmony. When he was saying all that, it just went right past my head. And now I see it is so right. And on Thursday, it was an 11 day, and that's a master number. And today, January 16, 2022, is a 5. And for me, and everybody who is in the know, knows that 5 means freedom. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. Because I have the freedom to express what I have always known. But there were always little things that might have gotten in the way. Oh, you don't say that. Oh, you have to be modest. Or better left unsaid. But now, freedom is here for us all. Yeah. From the moment I woke to hear Simeon wishing me happy birthday on Thursday, I have experienced a newness I will try to describe. But I can't do it fully because you had to be there with us. Well, one of the first things was dozens and dozens of happy birthday messages on Facebook. You know, that's a given, but over 100? That's a lot. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Pardon me. And what was even more fun was that these were people I have known throughout the years, even before Facebook was Facebook, and they were in every sector of my life, on a job, in school, in a chorus, as a neighbor, everyone. And you know, you think you're leaving the past, but somehow or other, the sweetness of all of those years has been preserved and is right here and lovely. Now, the day of Thursday was quiet until the phone started to ring. But before the phone started to ring, David left his tennis court where he was teaching and presented me with 24 breathtakingly magnificent roses. That was fabulous. But he also gave me something else. He gave me rubber gloves. And that represented something amazing. Of course, I had just spoken to David's mom, Vidi, and told her our dishwasher was on the fritz. And I love washing dishes because I have a gorgeous view to look at. But my hands, I really need rubber gloves. So don't you know, she called David and said, pick up those rubber gloves. There's a network that's so close and so delicious and loving, and that we help each other all the time. Even when it doesn't seem apparent, you feel it. There's this love underneath every word spoken, an appreciation of us all for having found each other. So, of course, I took a magnificent picture of those roses in front of that rock, put it on Facebook, and 70 more people said happy birthday. So I was getting a little giddy because this is really fun, but it was wonderful and continues to be so. I just made a few more notes because this is something that I wrote this morning that I felt when I was describing Thursday, the birthday. And I said many calls came in from family, and I suddenly became aware of a new stillness of being. which resulted in so much receiving. I joined Simeon in this amazing grace called life and appeared to do nothing. That hasn't always been easy for me. There was always something to prove, there's something to do, there's someone to make happy. No. There was just this amazing stillness as I'm feeling right now. And looking at this backdrop that is not a painting. It is real, as you are. And I just made a note to myself, read journal. Expression of the heart without paying any attention to the brain and just letting it come out is good for the soul. So here's my journal, written this morning. As a matter of fact, this is interesting. I started to write to Simeon last night after an unbelievably magnificent day, which included Adrian's broadcast and thrilled us all. And I was describing this to Simeon and asking him about the broadcast. And this is what he wrote. It's been a very full and yet. It's been a very full day. Oh, yes. And a full night's rest would be my suggestion. Let's talk in the morning. So this morning I said, good morning, Simeon. I'm so ready now. And this is what he wrote or dictated. Dearest Barbara, your broadcast today will be stellar, like our beer. Together, we have created a beautiful road for all family to travel and come home. Adrian, David, and Genya have paved that road with gems of varied hues, diamonds, rubies, and emeralds. This road is the direct route to the new world of magic and miracles. Pure magic. The pure magic is that there is always more. More family showing up and more bringing their gems of life to pave a new stretch of road with their unique gifts for all to be nourished, recognized, and held in high esteem for having arrived on Earth from spacecrafts in the outer reaches of the universe. All are welcome has always been your words with outstretched arms. We all love you. Love, Simeon. So with that road, everything came to life. The road we certainly have traveled a lot. And then there's always the road less traveled. And that's the exciting one. That's not the one we learned about in school. That's not the one that we were taught, certainly by my parents. And yet it's the road that once discovered becomes so familiar and so easy, and sharing it has to be a daily wonder, for me anyway. History is interesting. I guess most of my life, the younger days, public school, high school, college, I was always known as that girl who was not in the center of a group, or that girl who was different. I went to 3 high schools, so every time I transferred, I was that girl who used to do this, went to James Madison, and then she went to Jamaica High, and then, that thing. And then when I moved to Cleveland, I was that girl from New York with the New York accent. I never made it into a group. And my mother tried to tell me that's good. You don't want to be one of the crowd. But it didn't feel good at that time. And it was interesting because 3 high schools, 3 colleges, and yet I was very much like that jigsaw puzzle. Because I had all the pieces, I just didn't know how to put them together at that time. There was only one teacher who spoke to me with love and saw my possibilities. And she said, "Your future is bright, Barbara." That was Mrs. Steinbuehler, my 6th grade teacher. See how those teachers stand out because you remember those moments? And then there was the other side of the coin where Mr. Gross made fun of my abstract painting. He was the art teacher. How do you judge abstract coming from someone else? I was nonplussed. I didn't know what to do, and he gave me a bad mark. It was, I think I've told the story before, but it's worth telling again. Years later, when I was visiting the UN, and I went to the Dag Hammarskjöld memorial room, because he was a beloved head of the UN at one time. And there at the end of this long hall was a tapestry. It was my abstract painting. It had a fallen flag at the bottom with a bunting wrapped around it. And I don't remember the rest of it. But I just said, wow. And that was my first inkling to know that I see more than I can explain. I also remember being 6 years old. And from then on, in fact, I wore this necklace when I was 6. And I remember sitting outside. Now, this is just one of many, many times, but sitting outside eating an ice cream cone. And sitting outside because I was waiting for someone to come by and recognize who I am. To be recognized. I was just seen as the 6-year-old girl, or I was seen as the senior in Jamaica High School. No one recognized who I was. Recognition. I wanted someone who knew me as I am. And I lived a very full, productive life, mother of 3, and all the rest. And I can tell you the moment I was recognized. The moment I was recognized was January 8th, 2009, when I was invited to dinner, or I was staying at the house, and this gentleman was invited. That gentleman was and is Simeon. He needed no introduction. He took one look at me. I was recognized. I knew the power of being recognized. And along with that recognition is being understood. Now, there were a whole lot of years of experience clouding a lot of things. But Simeon saw me and did not accept anything less. You know that feeling when you know it's there? It's just not apparent, and you wait until it shows itself. Oh, that was about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And the more I think about it, no, I don't think. The more I know about it, is I have always known. I have. We were in that beautiful apartment in Australia, and I knew we had to be in a place where I could walk out and be in the garden. And I said this to Simeon. So here we are. We're in that place where we walk out and we're in the garden. I see things, pardon me, and I know them. I also knew that we were coming to America. And I saw this place. I saw that rock. I saw the launch pad that we call the patio. But I'm going to back up a little bit because we were invited to come to Northern California for Simeon to lecture. And we met many, many, many people. And one of the first people we met was Kathleen. I love the story because she had a session with Simeon who recognized who she is. It was a 1-hour session, and she never left. It was so powerful. She was sitting in the sunshine, and I wrapped her with a blanket and said, "You have found your real family." I don't know where those words came from. She was the only one that we knew. But what I didn't realize at the moment, but I realize very clearly now, Kathleen was key. She was the key for many people to come and discover the Advancement Center, which hadn't been formed at the time. And it's a celebration just to be able to say, Kathleen introduced us to Tim, to David. Genya listened to Kathleen's online Zoom call. And Kathleen went all the way to Scotland so that she could introduce us to her beautiful husband, Adrian. Everyone is essential. Everyone shares their essence. And it is so loved. I just don't know. I guess the important thing is, well, that word that I love is to recognition. But it's an active verb. I recognize each and every one of you and call you our family. That's wonderful. I don't know if I ever wrote anything else, but you realize, as we all do, I'm not from here. That little girl was looking for her family. Aren't we all? But I know that I'm not from here. And as soon as you know that, everything's possible. I remember being here and having Kathleen point across the canyon and tell me that's where my spaceship was. I was still in that other zone. And now I know. I know it very well. So thank you for being with me as all of these lights are going on. And I guess my only message is acknowledge your light. Acknowledge your gifts. Acknowledge what you know to be true, whether or not anyone agrees with you. And acknowledge your heart of knowing. It's precious. And with all my love, I wish you a perfect life, perfect health, and an amazing future filled with love. Thank you.